Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Restorations and Repairs. Check it out. We're working on the 66 Beetle and I am deep into it. As you can see, we have removed the interior. The interior on this car wasn't bad, but it was custom done, like custom upholstery, custom everything. And when I say custom, I don't mean like high-end custom. I mean like somebody did a home restoration and just, got like cloth and some carpet and redid it in their own design. And it was probably pretty cool in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s before it got parked, but it has rotted. It was pretty worn out, sun faded. Some of the carpeting was missing, so we are redoing all that. I got new door cards, new seat covers. I actually had to buy some new seat foam for just the driver's seat, so the rest of it was in pretty good shape. And I've pulled out the bottom carpeting and some of the other stuff to gain access to the floor pans. I wanted to take a look. I knew there was some rust around the rear battery tray. And so I'm going to get the camera off the tripod here and give you a walk around on it. But what I've come up with is that it was really bad back there. So we cut out a section, and I did that yesterday after I pulled the interior out and I kind of ran out of steam. But I do have a replacement panel here, and these are great that they're available, but they're not direct fit. So this is going to require some trimming and some beating and banging, and then of course some welding to get it back together again. I'm not sure how much of all that I'll film for you, because I'm certainly no expert at the welding or fabrication part of this world, but I might show you some of the highlights of it just to give you an idea of what you're in for if you want to replace the rear pan. I guess the biggest surprise for me was that I'm not the first person to do that. This is a replacement rear pan, and so they had already done this once in this car's life, and this was the second time. So once I got the carpet out and kind of got 40 years of rust, you can see how much rust was there. Started picking away at it. I was like, well, that's seam sealer, that's body seal. And so I found that this was already in there. So I've cut all that out. You can see the seam sealer here, and we got that out of the way. And now we see the original hole, which is the hole I'm just going to go by, that the the original owner, I would imagine, cut out of this. So I'll have to grind down all the spot welds that this thing had, and then we'll have to do some trimming. But while I'm doing that, my wife is going to be working on the seats, and I guess I'll get the camera off. I'll show you the other small changes that we've made so far. Overall, though, the car has offered me no surprises, really. It's in a lot better shape than I thought it would be. It runs now, it drives now. I've got some shocks on the way for the rear because they're pretty well done for. But other than that, it's actually in pretty good shape. All right, so as you can see, I've got the hood area open and the bonnet, or whatever you call it, and I've got all this cleaned out, and it really wasn't too nasty. The front down here, we're going to put some Rust-Oleum in here. I'll clean it up a little bit with a wire brush beforehand, but it's not rusted out. There's no giant holes. The only, I guess, surprise that I can say from here is that the fuel tank here is got a significant amount of rust inside. I could take it out, clean it out, and spend several hours of my life trying to get some of that rust out. And then there are some chemicals you can use to line it. But honestly, these tanks are still available. It was like less than $100 on eBay, so I went ahead and got it. And the fuel sender for it was also not working, so I went ahead and bought one of those with a new gasket. And you can see in here, the other part that I ordered here, the cardboard for the glove box is got a hole in the top, and they just kind of put a plastic bag over it. I'd like to make that look a little better. Interesting design. They put speakers all over the place in this car, so some of those are going away. I just left that there for now so I can keep track of what wire goes where, but I'll be running wires to the back of the car, and we'll just have two speakers back there. This isn't going to be a thumpy system or anything, but yeah, other than that, it's in pretty good shape. So let's go around here. I'll show you inside the work that I've been doing, and got the door panels and door cards off, lubricated everything, cleaned it up. No surprises there. Everything looks pretty good. I did have one broken handle, one broken window crank, so I've got those ordered as well. The dash, of course, cleaned up nicely, as did the rest. Back here, I'm leaving that carpeting in the rear shelf. It's all very nice and clean. The headliner was in good shape. Removed those as well. But you can see here, that floorboard there on that side is in pretty decent shape. A little bit of surface rust. So we're going to get a wire brush, scuff that up, and we'll coat that with some anti-rust inhibitor. This side as well, the front pans are still in pretty darn good shape. But as you move back here, you can see where the damage is. And it's just amazing to me that it's like the same place twice. So you can see the old welds right there. So I'm going to have to grind that all down, clean all this up to get it ready for new metal to tack on there. And we'll have to trim all that out. And that's a lot of work. I mean, it's amazing. I don't do body work. I'm a mechanic. But the reason that this stuff just is so expensive when you pay somebody else to do it is the amount of hours involved in doing it right. It just gets a little bit daunting. You can see my lift underneath there. Obviously not a lift point currently. So yeah, that's where we're at. Seat-wise, you can see what I mean. Like, these are recovered. They're not poorly recovered. Like, somebody had some real skill to do that kind of fabrication when it comes to that. But we got the original set here, so there's a seat bottom. And that's what I mean. The door cards and everything were kind of covered in that. And you can see here that, you know, it's just like taped and glued into place on the original cards. And they were warped. And it just didn't look good anymore. It just didn't look right. So that's what we're going to be handling. So Jen's going to be doing the upholstery work. We got a whole kit. Incredibly inexpensive for something like this. It's amazing. Yeah, if you're going to pick a car to do restorations on, like, this is one of the best because there's just every part available. The original owner, or the last owner, had taken the heater channels out, heater boxes out, so I need heat. So we're going to be replacing those. But look at those. Brand new door cards, and it was like $59 for a set, front and back, with holes already drilled. I mean, it's just incredible. New window cranks, new levers, everything. Like nothing, man. It's very inexpensive. So you can see there's our pile of goodies. So that's it. I'm going to pause the camera. I've got some grinding to do, and I will show you what that area, that battery tray, looks like when we get it all polished up and ready to do some trim work. So let's do it. All right, well, let's take a look at where we're at midday here. This is the pan that we cut out earlier. You can see all the pieces that I chiseled out, all the leftovers that were spot welded in. A lot of little bits and pieces, and of course there's a bunch up underneath here, but that's done, and you can see the sanding. I mean, it's not perfect, but we cleaned it up enough that we should be able to get some good welds here. Some little areas I'm not too happy with, but for the most part, it's going to go as planned. The next part is actually way worse. It is a lot of trimming to get that to fit. Like, this is a universal fit, and I'm sure it fits like all the body pans ever built. As you can see here, well, it's hard to do with one hand. So, like, a lot of trimming to get it to fit. You know, some of it's hammering, but some of it's trimming. Obviously, I don't want to have to cut out my seat rails, so I'm going to have to cut along there, probably cut up at an angle like that to get it, but I want it far enough up that it covers up that rust hole there, and I think I have just enough room to do that. So yeah, not a welder, not a body guy, but so far I'd say about what you'd expect. A lot of trimming, a lot of molding with a hammer and a mallet, trying to get everything in place. A lot of grinding. Went through more grinding discs than I think I have in any project just doing this, so quite a bit. Cool. And of course the seats are coming along, and then we're working on redoing the seats. You can see here we got the rear seat. This is what I was talking about. Like it's not terrible, although some of them are, but you can see the sun fade and the rips and stuff there. So we got a kit, and we're going to be using that kit there, and we'll restring that. That's going to be a separate video, just to give you an idea of what we're up against and what the end result's going to be. Here is the original driver's seat. I say original, originally recovered and like foam glued on. That is not a Volkswagen seat cover or like foam kit or anything. These originally had the horsehair. And then this, and I think that we did not buy, we bought the bottom foam for this one. We bought full foam kit for that one. The rears, where no one's ever going to sit there, so we didn't buy any of that. This top one, a little bit of curling here because of the lack of horsehair up there, but I think overall the difference is pretty stark. It's pretty contrast there. So, you know, and a kit like this was, I think we paid less than $150 for all 4 seats. And I mean, like, if you're going to try to resell a Beetle with something like this compared to this, I think that's going to reflect poorly on the sale price, you know? Anyway, I guess that's going to be the end of part 3. In part 4, my wife and I will show you how we go about doing these seat swaps, you know, getting that new material and ripping the old stuff off and fixing that up, try to get that pretty looking for you. And then in part 5, we'll tackle the beating and banging and cutting that is required to get that new battery tray in there. And that'll be the big end of this, honestly. We're going to cut some carpet out to fit that, reinstall our seats, and we'll be ready to finalize repairs on the Beetle itself, which is a gas tank, some fuel lines. I've got a carburetor I'm either going to rebuild or just replace, and, you know, just little stuff, little stuff. Thanks for watching, my friends. Take care.